Hey everybody, welcome to today's video. We're going to be talking about RRSP break-even loans. This is one of the most underutilized tools that you can use to grow your RRSP balances. And I'm going to explain it real fast. I'm going to give you the math. I'm going to share with you an example so we can walk through the math and why you might want to do this as well. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is David Aaron. And on this channel, we talk about all things financial planning, life insurance, estate planning, helping you grow your assets, paying less tax, and a whole lot more other questions that just generally help you live your best life and not worry about your money or any of your assets. This is going to be a great session because this happens to be one of the most underutilized tools available to anyone, and it's so simple to do, and yet a lot of people do it. Now, I want to share with you a couple things, and that is, before I begin, if you're new to this channel, just as you know, you hear this all the time, but please like and follow, share this video as much as you possibly can so the algorithm loves my channel and pushes my content out to as many people as possible. But one of the things I want to share with you is about what I've seen over the last 20 years. Real quick, I've seen portfolios that are between $1 and say $4 million with RSPs. And I've seen the other side where very low balances comparative to the other side of the table. And why is that? Because the people that have higher balances contributed the maximum that they can, according to the CRA guidelines, every single year, had decent management of their portfolio, so got a decent rate of return, always stayed invested, continued to fund their RSP portfolios, and obviously their balances are much higher. Then the other side of the equation is where people are inconsistent with their deposit amounts. Sometimes, and I'm going to go through that quickly, sometimes it's this amount, sometimes it's a lower amount, sometimes there's no RSP that particular year, or poor management of the RSP. So this ad hoc approach to how you fund your RSP and consequently lower balances. So I'm going to share with you just how you use RRSP break-even loans so you can put more money into your RSP every year without having to use your own money. It's a simple process, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so let's get into this right away. Quick question for you. How do you decide how much money you should put in an RSP? Is it a budget constraint? Is it you're following a written financial plan, something on a piece of paper or an advisor told you put this amount of money? It's what you did last year because you know how much you're going to get back, so I just put the same amount. Like, share with me how you actually figured that out, because a lot of people watching this channel are also going to want to know, how do other people do it? Am I the only one that does it this way? Let's just get some conversation going, and so we can figure this out. So now, what's the key to funding your RSP in a way that will always push it to a high limit? One is get professional management of your RSP, but it's also the systematic approach, systematic deposit that you would do with an RSP. I want you to think about trying to get it on automatic pilot, if you will. And it's really not complicated. Can anyone think of one thing that you might do where your payment is relatively the same every year? You make this payment every single month on time, and you do it for, let's say, 25 years? Well, it's this, right? It's your mortgage. You pay that every single year without question, without delay. You do that every single year, and so it's something that you know very well that it works if you do it on time, right? And so this is what I want to sort of get to today, is how to actually make it so you have more money. Look at this illustration. This illustration shows someone putting money in the same amount every single year, the first 3 years. Then maybe they got a pay raise and they put a little bit more money in 2 years later, and then got a pay raise, put more money, and then put some more money. Maybe they cleared up some debt and had more money to put in an RSP. But do you see how it's the same amount, always funded, and it's rising over time? Here's how a lot of people fund their RSP, very inconsistently. And sometimes you live off of credit in 1 year, right? When things get tough and you don't make an RSP contribution. But it's this inconsistency and the amounts that make your RSP balances quite low. And that's also where I get comments where people say, I don't believe in RSPs, I don't make any money in RSPs, or you can't grow your portfolio using an RSP. Whereas these people, they have a different opinion about RSPs. Would you agree? So it really does depend on how you're actually investing your money. So what I want to share with you today now is sharing with you an example of just simple example of time value of money. If you invest your money a certain amount every year, how much will it grow to? And then I'm going to share with you the formula about how to do a break-even loan. And this is super easy stuff. Okay, this is someone putting in $7,000. Remember that. We're going to use that in both examples. $7,000 a year. Started at age 35 with zero balance in an RSP. And they are getting 7% on their money and then a pre-retirement. Then at retirement, 5%. I'm even sharing with you the RIF, the income that you're getting out of this. 5% throughout their post-retirement, right? So they're in retirement, receiving an income, and they're only getting 5%. So someone invests $7,000 a year for 35 years, for 30 years, and that would grow to $661,000, and they would produce about a $47,000 RIF payment. That's how much money, this is taxable, right? Every single year, that's how much they'd have until age 90. So that's what I've done, the math for you. $7,000 a year consistently for 30 years. This person never got a pay raise. They always made the same amount of money, or they just did something else with their money. But they just said, you know what, 7,000, that's what I'm going to do because whatever, I'm just sharing with you this example. Here's the chart. The light blue is the accumulation phase. You're growing your money. The dark blue is you withdrawing your money, and you see that it lasts the entire time, right? Here's someone that does something different. They take $7,000, but instead they borrow right away, an RRSP loan, the amount of money that they would have gotten back, right? Their tax return. They borrow that amount and they add it to the $7,000. So they're actually putting in a little over $11,000 for the year instead of $7,000. Same timeline, same rates of return. Everything is the same. The only thing is different is the deposit amount. 1.1 million. Wow. Pretty remarkable. So why am I saying this in a $78,000 income? There's your chart. Why am I saying this? Because what it does is it kind of gets you into the mindset, especially if you don't like debt, that you got a loan on the books and you got a return, so you pay off the loan right away. If you can do that every single year, you're going to have this, okay, 1.1 million. Get somebody to manage your money for you, have a good relationship with them, make sure that they know why you're doing it and how much money and budget and everything, have a good relationship, all those things equal. If you can do that every single year, and you're going to be so far ahead of everybody else, you're not going to worry about your retirement. Okay, so let's look at that. Now don't get all upset and don't get all nervous about the math. It's really simple. Get a calculator. If you can get a calculator handy, pause this, go get a calculator, come back. Here's how it works. Cash on hand, that means what cash you have in the checking account, cash you have available to you, times your marginal tax rate. Don't know that? Go online, just type in, what is my marginal tax rate? And a bunch of calculators are going to show up, going to say, what province do you live in, and so on. It's going to say, how much money did you make last year? And there's your marginal tax rate, okay? So cash on hand times your marginal tax rate divided by 1 minus your marginal tax rate. I know the math looks really crazy. It's not. Let's do it together. So let's say it's $7,000 and your marginal tax rate, let's say, was 40%. If it's not, put in whatever your tax rate is. Is it 50%? Is it 35%? It doesn't matter. Put in your tax rate. So all you do is go 7,000 times, I'm saying on the calculator, times 40, hit the percent sign, and equals. Okay, that's the top line. On the bottom line, clear, press clear, go 1 minus 40% equals, and it's going to come out to 60%. Okay, so you do the math there, it's going to be $4,667. That's the amount of money that you should borrow. So again, substitute your tax rate, all things equal, $4,667, that's the amount that you're going to borrow. So you go to the bank, you say, I would like to do an RRSP loan, and you've already done the math because you're going to do 7,000. You say, I would like $4,667 loan. They say, fine, and you go ahead and you deposit that to your RRSP account along with your $7,000. Simple? Pretty simple, right? So instead of having a $7,000 deposit, you now have $11,667 being deposited to your RRSP. That, if you did that every single year for the next 30 years, depending how old you are, you're going to have a lot of money. You're going to have enough money to retire. You won't be worried about retirement. That won't be a problem for you. All you have to do is be healthy. That's another equation to your retirement plan. So if you file your income tax, most people file their income tax electronically. It's going to take about 8 to 10 weeks to come back. Usually CRA, when they get electronic filing, they get on that within 10 business days. CRA, everybody's strained with COVID, but nonetheless, it shouldn't take more than 90 days. And so really all you have to worry about is paying the interest on the loan for however long it takes you to get your tax return. Once you get your tax return, pay off your RRSP loan. This is key. Do not go and do something else with it. Pay off the loan. Do this one strategy. The reason why you're doing an RRSP loan is so you can get this tax refund and pay off the loan. That is the one strategy you are going to do every single year for 30 years to build wealth. Okay? There's a lot of other things you could do, but this is the simplest thing you can do for yourself, and it costs you very little to get it. Okay? Now, who is this for? If you are someone who's making a contribution within the first 60 days of the calendar year, then this is for you. If you only have available to you the initial deposit but don't have the extra that you could put in, like that $4,667, then this is for you. So it's that person who, I only have this amount saved, I don't have any more because it's earmarked for other things, then you should do an RRSP loan. And you have to have the contribution room, right? Obviously, if you have zero, if you only have the contribution room afforded to you from last year's income because you've filled it up already, then you don't need to do an RRSP loan. All you have to do is put in the amount that you're allowed to put in. Fair enough? It's pretty simple, straightforward. Where does this all begin? Get a written financial plan done. I tell this to everybody. It's seeing the outcome of your planning decisions before you commit to them. Your RRSP loan is connected to your financial plan. There it tells you exactly how much money you need for retirement, so an income stream. That income stream translates to a certain amount of money that you have at the end of the rainbow, and that you got to by putting in so much money per month at a certain rate of return. Does that make sense, right? So we kind of reverse engineer that. That's what's in the written financial plan. We give you all kinds of different variables so that we can say, what if you did this, what if you did that? And it's really easy to do. It's not complicated. I hope you found this useful, guys. I really appreciate you tuning in today. If you liked what I said today, please give it a thumbs up, like it, share it with anybody that should see this. Remember to follow the channel, subscribe to the channel so you get updates as to when I will be putting new videos in. I really appreciate you tuning in today, taking time out of your busy life to watch this video. I always say in my videos, we take care of your wealth management so you can take care of what's most important to you. I firmly believe in that. Take the time to spend it with the people that you love and care for the most. Have an awesome life. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. We'll see you soon, okay? Thanks very much. Take care.